evening, everyone. Regular meeting of the Salem City Council is being held today in person on Thursday, June 26, 2025, at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on June 24th, 2025 at 5:34 p.m. This meeting is being recorded and is live on SATV and Zoom unless technological issues interrupt the transmission. Council is absent, Councilor Varela and Councilor Watson-Felt. Councilor Harvey moves to dispense with the reading of the record from the previous meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? Would we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilor Cohen. The flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. The Salem City Council honors this land as Nomkeg, or fishing place, where generations of Nomkeg people from the Pawtucket Band of the Massachusetts tribe lived and passed through for centuries. We acknowledge that this is unceded indigenous land and also acknowledge the Massachusetts tribe who continue to honor and hold this land into the present. Salem City Council is committed to having ongoing meaningful dialogue with the indigenous peoples who have presence in Salem in order to dismantle the legacies of oppression and inequities that persist today. Public testimony, we have no public testimony tonight, so we will turn the podium over to our fire chief, Chief Alan Dion, for a ceremony of appointments and...
You ready for me?
I'm sorry. Ready. And promotions.
Okay. Could I ask you guys to come on? Stand in here. Put the firefighters right here. Turn it over here. Thank you, council members. It's an honor to be here, as always, when we do these events. Swearing in the new members of the department is one of my favorite things to do, and I've been fortunate enough to hire, I'll be part of hiring close to 41 firefighters since I started. That would include 2 transfers. So it's rewarding each and every time to get to see them come in here and take their oath and become what most likely is most of their adult life as servants of the community. And it's not lost on me that many of the people that take these oaths serve 30, 35, 40 years. So this is a big night to have them here. And I was here 32 years ago with Peter Chauvelin, Deputy Chauvelin, and it seems like just yesterday. So this is always a great event for me. I want to thank the council for their continued support, Mayor Pangalo as well. And I'd like to take a second to introduce our newest candidates and our newest lieutenant, and then we'll go ahead and proceed with the swearing ceremony and the taking of the oath. So to my right is Lieutenant Matt Gifford. Matt's been lieutenant for about how long now?
Like 5 months.
5 months now. So we'll be taking the oath of lieutenant. And his wife, Devin, is going to pin his badge on him. She's also a police officer with the Salem Police Department. And his father, Peter Gifford, is also a veteran police officer here in Salem. So the entire family have dedicated their life to service in this community, and we thank them. We thank them all for that. To my left is our group of new firefighters. When I say your name, raise your hand. Firefighter Alex Beltran. Firefighter Josh Galuli. Firefighter Connor Walsh. And recruit Michael May. He's not a firefighter yet. Michael's still attending the fire academy. Do you know your end date?
August 8th.
But who's counting? It always goes by for everybody except the recruits. So I'd like to mention that Firefighter Galuli is also the stepson of Councilor Harvey, and he's a very well-guided man. Thank you. And also, Connor Welsh comes to us via the DPW, and he served with DPW for how many years, Connor?
3 years.
3 years, and now we have him. So sorry, Ray Joden, we took him. So with no further delay, we'll move forward, and the mayor will give the oath to the lieutenant first, Lieutenant Gifford, and then he'll swear in the firefighters. Thank you.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, state your name,
I, Matthew Gifford,
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
I will
Faithfully and
impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent
upon
on me,
me
as
as a lieutenant,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
agreeably with the Constitution and
of
laws
the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinances
of the city of Salem.
of the city of Salem.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I
I, Alan Dion,
Matthew Gifford,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the
of the
Constitution
United States.
of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Take your child. That was mine.
So they already put the badge on because it would be a nightmare to do it with 3 children. So we're just going to get a photo and we'll pretend this is our badge ceremony. All right, everybody look here.
Alicia Locke.
Got her. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
One as well.
One more time. Sorry.
One more picture. You're smiling.
Everyone's right over at me.
Hey, turn around.
Hey, Lisa, Blippi. Blippi over
All right, now you guys. So we'll do the oath, and then there's going to be a recess, and you'll all need to sign the book there, and then we'll take additional photos. You ready? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Alan
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as
firefighters,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinances
of the city of Salem.
of the city of Salem.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Alan
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the
of
Constitution
the United States.
of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Councilors, all those in favor of a 5-minute recess so that the families can take photos and congratulate our recent firefighters? All those in favor? And nobody's opposed. We're on 10-minute recess. Regular meeting of the Salem City Council is being held in person on Thursday, June 26, 2025 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on June 24th, 2025 at 5:34 p.m. This meeting is being recorded and is live on SATV and Zoom unless technological issues interrupt the transmission. Councilors absent, Varela. Councilor Hobby moves to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? Would everybody please stand? Recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilor Cohen. United States of America, to the Republic, one nation, under God, indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated. Salem City Council honors that this land is Nomkeg, a fishing place where generations of Nomkeg people from the Pawtucket Band of the Massachusetts tribe lived and passed through for centuries. We acknowledge that this is unceded indigenous land and also acknowledge the Massachusetts tribe who continue to honor and hold this land into the present. Salem City Council is committed to having ongoing meaningful dialogue with the indigenous people who have presence here in Salem in order to dismantle the legacies of oppression and the inequities that persist today. Public testimony, we have none. Hearings, we have none. Appointments and reappointments, Madam Clerk.
We have held from the last meeting the mayor's appointment of the following with terms to expire. The mayor's appointment of Carolyn Evans of 19 Sutton Ave to the licensing board with a term to expire June 11th, 2023.
Councilor Gerselo.
Thank you, President Krasnowski. I move that this be confirmed by roll call vote.
Councilor Gerselo moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to present the mayor's appointment of Carolyn Evans to serve on the licensing board, filling the seat recently vacated by our longstanding and deeply respected board member, Deborah Greel. First, I'd like to extend heartfelt thanks to Ms. Greel for her many years of exceptional service and dedication to the board and our community. Ms. Evans, a relatively new resident of Salem, comes from a family with strong roots and community involvement. She understands the importance of civic engagement and is eager to contribute meaningful to the city she now calls home. She brings valuable experience in the licensing field, having previously served as a consumer affairs and licensing intern for the city of Boston. She currently works at Salem State University as a risk assessment and strategic planning coordinator, a role that reflects her strong analytical skills and her commitment to thoughtful, forward-thinking public service. I believe Ms. Evans will be a thoughtful and dedicated addition to the licensing board. I look forward to working with her to ensure that all voices in our community are heard and respected. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Watson Felt?
Yes.
Council Varela? Oops, I'm sorry. Council Stott?
Yes.
Council Marcillo?
Yes.
Council Merkel?
Yes.
Council Gerselo?
Yes.
Councilor Harvey?
Yes.
Council
Yes.
Council Davis?
Yes.
Council Cohen?
Yes.
Council Presnowski?
Yes. On the appointment of Carolyn Evans to the licensing board, we have 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, and 1 absent. The matter carries. Congratulations. Ms. Evans, if you'd like, you can,
I'm going to ask to suspend the rules so Ms. Evans could speak.
seeing no objection, Ms. Evans.
I'm so sorry, and thank you for your patience. Past her bedtime, so I really appreciate it. But I'm really excited and honored, and I appreciate your trust in me to serve this really important role. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to cut out.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Jessica Choi of 33 Hazel Street to the Tree Commission with a term to expire June 11th, 2028.
Councilor Cohen.
Thank you, President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Cohen moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. Really happy that Jessica has stepped up to accept this nomination. She's a landscape architect. She's really about building community through spaces that are accessible, inclusive, and connect with people with nature. She's also into building a more climate resilient city and very attentive to native plants and biodiversity. She's a local gardener at the Cove Park Community Gardens and volunteers for Salem Sound Coast Watch.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Watson Felt?
Yes.
Council Stott?
Yes.
Council Marcillo?
Yes.
Council Merkel?
Yes.
Council Gerselo?
Yes.
Council Harvey?
Yes.
Council Hapworth?
Yes.
Council Davis?
Yes.
Council Cohen?
Yes.
And Council Presnowski?
Yes. On the appointment of Jessica Choi to the Tree Commission, we have 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, 1 absent. Matter carries. Congratulations. Councilor Cohen.
Thank you, President. I move that we suspend the rules to allow Jessica to address the council.
Seeing no objection, Ms. Choi.
Everyone, my name is Jessica Choi. Feel free to call me Jess. I've been a resident of Salem since 2020. I'm very excited to dig more into our community. I love that the act of planting trees is both incredibly simple but super impactful. And as a landscape architect, I deeply care about making sure that people have access to nature. So I'm just really excited to be part of this commission, learn from the city, with the city, and just help in any way that I can. So thank you.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have held from the last meeting the mayor's reappointment of the following with terms to expire. Robert Callahan to the Board and Commission of Parks and Recreation Commission, and Thomas Fury to the Planning Board.
Councilor Watson-Feld.
Thank you, President Prezinski. I move that this be confirmed by roll call vote.
Councilor Watson-Feld moves for confirmation by roll call vote on the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just personal thanks on behalf of all of Salem, I think, to these two tried and true, long-term volunteers and former city employees in various, in Mr. Callahan's place at least. These two volunteers have been stalwart advocates and great collaborators. So just happy to have them for another couple of terms, or another 5-year term, each of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't think we could let a reappointment of Councilor Fury or former Councilor Fury go without calling this a win-win-win-win.
Also the same said for former Captain Robert Callahan. Thank you. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Watson-Feld. Marcillo?
Yes.
Council Merkel?
Yes.
Council Gerslow?
Yes.
Council Harvey?
Yes.
Council Hapworth?
Yes.
Council Davis?
Yes.
Council Cohen?
Yes.
And Council Presnowski.
Yes. On the reappointments of Robert Callahan and Tom Fury, we have 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Alexander Pinero Shields to the Registrar of Voters with a term to expire June 25th, 2028.
Council Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this is held under the rule.
Council Cohen moves to be held under the rules. Under discussion.
Only that appreciate Alexandra's commitment to the city. She's a real leader in many ways.
Any further discussion? On Councilor Cohen's motion that this be held under the rules, all in favor? All opposed? Matter carries. Communications from the mayor.
We have ordered that the authorization and unissuance balances of the following loan orders is hereby rescinded.
Councilor Merkel.
Thank you, President Presnowski. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Merkel moves for adoption by roll call vote on the discussion.
Thank you. These authorized but unissued bond appropriations from 10 to 25 years ago didn't occur for the full appropriation. Leaving these on the books shows an inaccurate picture of our future debt capacity and will ultimately negatively impact our bond rating. Also, these items are listed here are because projects were either underspent or they were also pursuing grants that came through. So both of those circumstances are good news. And I want to say thank you to the finance team for this cleanup.
Any further discussion? On Councilor Merkel's motion that this be adopted by roll call vote, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Watson-Feld?
Yes.
Councilor Stott?
Yes.
Council Marcillo?
Yes.
Council Merkel?
Yes.
Council Gerslow?
Yes.
Council Harvey?
Yes.
Council Hapworth?
Yes.
Councilor Davis?
Yes.
Council Cohen?
Yes.
And Council Presnowski.
Yes. On the authorization of unused balances that are hereby rescinded, we have 10 in the affirmative, None in the negative, one absent. Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have the sum of $2,119,896 is hereby transferred to the accounts listed below, provided to cover the remaining fiscal year 2025 costs necessary to close the fiscal year in accordance with this recommendation by His Honor the Mayor.
Council Merkel.
Thank you, President Presnusky. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Council Merkel moves for adoption by roll call vote under discussion.
Mass General Law permits us to transfer funds previously allocated in one department to another department during only the first 15 days of the new fiscal year. And also, these are easier to read in the backup documents. If these transfers do not happen, then our free cash for the fiscal year will be negatively, for fiscal year 2025 will be negatively impacted. And I just want to express a thank you to our former Finance Director, Anna Friedman. She gave us a few parting gifts of cleanup, and this is one of them, so I do want to recognize that. Thank you.
Any further discussion? On Councilor Merkel's motion that the sum of $2,119,896 be transferred to cover the remaining fiscal 25 costs. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Watson Felt?
Yes.
Council Stott?
Yes.
Council Marcillo?
Yes.
Council Merkel?
Yes.
Council Jerslow?
Yes.
Council Harvey?
Yes.
Council Hapworth?
Yes.
Council Davis?
Yes.
Council Cohen?
Yes.
And Council Presnusky?
Yes. On the appropriation matter, we have 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, one absent. Matter carries. Other communications from the mayor?
The mayor is hereby authorized, in order to authorize the mayor to execute on behalf of the city an easement from the city of Salem to the residents on Canal Street LLP, which is the developer, for the purpose of enabling the developer to construct and maintain the improvements required by the city, by the Salem Planning Board, including an additional sidewalk adjacent to the shared use path in Canal Street for bicycle storage and rest area, a pedestrian bridge to the shared use path, and a bench seating areas along the shared use path.
Councilor Cohen?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Cohen moves for adoption by roll call vote on the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rarely get enthusiastic about easements, but this is really a lot of stuff that it's going to benefit the community. So the construction and maintenance of these amenities was required in the planning board decision February 16th of last year. And it's going to include things like the bridge that was mentioned is going to enable the public to overlook Rosie's Pond. Currently, the shared path does not connect directly with the crosswalk, and this will enable people to actually connect to the crosswalk. This is a development for people who are bicyclists that actually has more bicycle parking than actual units. And so there's many other things about this that are not just benefiting the residents of the complex, but the city at whole. And one of the things that the developer has committed to is to have free movement by anyone from the public throughout the development. There's a little like amphitheater area where there'll be people can have events, or the city can have events. So I encourage everyone to vote for this. If anyone does have questions that I can't answer, Attorney Correnti is here. But I think this is one of the rare times that a developer through the planning board is doing things that are really not just for the development, but for the community at large.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Watson Felt?
Yes.
Council Varela? Oh, excuse me. Council Stott?
Yes.
Council Marcillo?
Yes.
Council Merkel?
Yes.
Council Jerslow?
Yes.
Counselor Harvey.
Yes.
Counselor Hapworth.
Yes.
Counselor Davis.
Yes.
Counselor Cohen.
Yes.
And Counselor Presniewski.
Yes. On the matter authorizing the mayor to execute on behalf of the city an easement from the city of Salem to the residents of the Canal Street LLP development. We have 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, and 1 absent. Matter carries. Let's see. Mayor's informational page, we have none. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Harvey.
Thank you, President. Resolution Senior Day, September 5th, 2025. Whereas need to realize now more than ever that the resource of seniors are in, that the abilities of seniors to invest in our community with their knowledge, creativity, and experience cannot be denied. And whereas it is important to acknowledge that contributions that seniors have made in the city of Salem, and whereas never before in the history of our community has the youth been in greater need of the wisdom and guidance of a senior, and whereas the city of Salem recognizes the past contributions and future contributions of senior residents to the community and recognizes that seniors are vital to the growing success of the city of Salem, and now therefore let it be resolved that we, the city Salem councilors, and the Mayor Dominic Hangallo do hereby proclaim that September 5th by Senior Day, be Senior Day in the city of Salem. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Harvey moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, President Hapworth. I'm sorry, President Presniewski. I just feel that, you know, the community and the seniors deserve a day of their own. They do have their senior day every year, so in speaking with them, being the liaison and stuff like that, I thought it was the right thing to do. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilor Merkel.
Thank you, President Presniewski, and thank you to Councilor Harvey for bringing this in. This was a great day last year, so I recommend people attending. I'd like to note that the location this year is Winter Island, and it's going to be 10 to 2. And also the Council on Aging is accepting nominations for exceptional older adults to be recognized at this event, and those are due by July 25th. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Councilor Harvey's motion to adopt by roll call vote. All those in, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Watson-Feld.
Yes.
Counselor Stott.
Yes.
Counselor Marcillo.
Yes.
Counselor Merkel.
Yes.
Counselor Jerslow.
Yes.
Counselor Harvey.
Yes.
Counselor Hapworth.
Yes.
Counselor Davis.
Yes.
Counselor Cohen.
Yes.
And Counselor Presniewski.
Yes. On Councilor Harvey's resolution with the senior day be September 5th, 2025, we have 10 in the affirmative, 9 in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions? Councilor Watson-Feld.
Thank you, President Presniewski. A resolution naming June 2025 as Pride Month in Salem. Whereas in the month of June, for over 50 years, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, aromantic, and agender people across the country have commemorated and memorialized the anniversary of the Christopher Street uprisings, of which the Stonewall Uprising is the most known, a pivotal moment in LGBTQIA+ history. And whereas June was first historically and civically designated as Gay Pride Month by President Clinton in June of 2000. And whereas Pride Month is an opportunity to memorialize members of the LGBTQIA+ community who have been lost to us and who are still dying every day from the AIDS epidemic and the fallout ripple effects of those terrible days, from hate and violence, from suicide, and the perils of living in the streets when young people are neglected and excommunicated from their families and communities. And whereas while society at large increasingly supports LGBTQIA+ equality, it is essential to acknowledge that the need for education and awareness remains vital to end discrimination and prejudice. And Pride Month is a life-affirming opportunity to celebrate our diversity and bring awareness and strong allyship to the ongoing struggles of the LGBTQIA+ community, especially at this time of ongoing hostile legislation in parts of our nation and increasing legal and bodily threats to the dignity, humanity, and safety of transgender and non-binary people in America. And whereas these times in particular are seeing increasing attacks, politically and physically, on trans individuals, including trans children and youth, which demand action, allyship, and advocacy in support of trans lives. And whereas Salem has long been a community of diversity, acceptance, and inclusion, and acknowledges that Salem's LGBTQI+ residents make great contributions to all aspects of life in Salem as business owners, artists, public and private leaders, educators, doctors, lawyers, civil servants, volunteers, and more. And whereas Salem wishes to honor the important history of the LGBTQIA+ liberation movement, which includes the history and ongoing fight for equitable treatment in healthcare, fair and equal legal rights, justice, and accurate education of the history and lives of the LGBTQIA+ community. And whereas Salem wishes to acknowledge, support, and actively work to advance the rights of the broadly intersectional diversity of our community here in our city of peace, to ensure all people experience equality and freedom from discrimination. And whereas the city of Salem has once again raised the inclusivity flag, raise the inclusivity flag in June in downtown Salem. We have painted crosswalks in Salem with pride colors and serve as host for the North Shore Pride Parade as means of showing support of the LGBTQIA+ community and to celebrate our diversity and shared humanity. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of Salem, in partnership with His Honor Mayor Dominic Pangalo, are proud to reaffirm our support in recognizing the month of June 2025 as LGBTQIA+ Pride Month in Salem, Massachusetts, and encourage all people to share in the pride of our LGBTQIA+ neighbors, with the culmination of our local celebrations this weekend with the Pride Parade on Saturday, June 28th, 2025, and all local Pride weekend activities. And I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Council Wassenfeld moves for adoption by roll call vote. Any further discussion? Under discussion. Go ahead.
Thank you, President Presnewski. I know we have expressed so much support in this chambers, not only in the years past, but especially this year already, given the desperate need to make sure the LGBTQA members of our community are feeling supported, especially our trans siblings. So I know we had our flag raising. I know we've painted crosswalks. I know we had Councilor Merkel's wonderful statement earlier this year. But I wasn't comfortable with June passing without just the one more show of this body's support, because I just think it's really important. And I know we're coming in under the wire, but I appreciate everyone's patience and ongoing support for the community that I am a member of, that I call home, and that I celebrate. So looking forward to having everybody's support. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilor Merkel.
Just want to express my appreciation. These statements can't be made enough in these times, and I so enjoy hearing you read this. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, Councilor Davis.
Thank you, President Presnewski. Super quick, just echoing my gratitude to Councilor Watson-Felt. Couldn't have said it better. That was beautiful. And thanks for your incredible help in organizing 2 years in a row the Pride Crosswalks, along with Councilor Merkel this year. They were incredible. So thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. On Councilor Watson-Felt motion, that June be resoluted as Pride Month. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Watson-Felt.
Yes.
Counselor Stott.
Yes.
Counselor Marcillo.
Yes.
Counselor Merkel.
Yes.
Counselor Jerslow.
Yes.
Counselor Harvey.
Yes.
Counselor Hapworth?
Yes.
Counselor Davis?
Yes.
Counselor Cohen?
Yes.
And Counselor Presnowski?
Yes. On the resolution of June being Pride Month, we have 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, one absent, matter carries. Thank you. Committee reports. Counselor Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a late file. City of Salem and City Council, June 26, 2025, ordered that the City Council Committee of the Whole meet Tuesday, July 1st, 2025 at 6 p.m. in City Council chambers with the Prime Group, their representatives and consultants, so they can present their most current plans for Shetland Park.
Counselor Cohen is pressing a motion in order that July 1st be put aside so that the Prime Group can make a presentation on what Shetland Properties, their future plans for Shetland Properties here in the council chambers on Monday, July 1st at 6 p.m.
Tuesday, July 1st, 6 p.m.
Tuesday, July 1st at 6 p.m. Do we have to take a,
Just a hand vote.
no? Just a hand vote, that's right. All those in favor? All those opposed? We have the meeting. Thank you. Committee reports, Councilor Merkel.
Thank you, President Presnowski. City of Salem and City Council, June 26, 2025. The Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom it was referred the matter of appropriation of $100,000 from retained earnings water sewer to the sewer account for a stormwater study, has considered the said matter and would recommend approval.
On the acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Councilor Merkel.
Thank you. This was discussed in regards to people paying their water sewer bills, and they are paying for stormwater runoff, and some conditions, such as parking lots, cause more of this, and which causes an equity issue. And it is an environmental issue as well. There is already $50,000 in the budget for this from last year, but recent quotes have come in higher. Ms. Duhamel, our city engineer, joined us for our committee meeting, and she also said that this study will look at how to appropriately fund regulatory requirements as well as infrastructure improvements. And councilors asked good questions. We learned about EPA testing requirements, and also Ms. Duhamel noted that properties already managing runoff, that would be factored in as well.
Any further discussion? Councilor Merkel, your recommendation? I'm sorry. I did not get your recommendation.
Recommend approval of the appropriation of $100,000 from retained earnings, water and sewer, to the sewer account for a stormwater study.
On Councilor Merkel's recommendation of $100,000 be retained from retained earnings to the water and sewer account. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, June 26, 2025. Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, and was referred the matter of no right turn on read, has considered said matter, and will recommend it remain in committee.
The acceptance of the report, all those in favor? On Councilor Hapworth's recommendation that this matter be held in committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries.
Do you want under discussion?
I'm sorry, under discussion. Councilor Hapworth.
So there was a good discussion around the right turn on red recommendations that came in from the Traffic and Parking Commission. This goes back to an order from Councilor Morcillo in 2023, late 2023, and a lot of work that's gone in from OLA and from the Traffic and Parking Commission over the last 16 months or longer. I'm not sure how long it's been. And the recommendations that came out of the committee, we got through a lot of Ward 1, a lot of I think all of Ward 2, a little bit of Ward 5. We still have some 4 and some 6 to get to. And I think there's some 7 in there as well. Recommendations that came out of committee was Norman Street, eastbound, the corner of Riley Plaza. So Norman Street eastbound onto Washington Square southbound, to add that in as a no right turn on red, and then to remove the no right turn on red recommendation on Washington Square West to Washington Square North. Those are both accepted by the committee. There was another motion made by Councilor Jerslow to remove the recommendation for a no right turn on red at Congress and Derby Street, which was not accepted by the committee at the time. We'll have another meeting on this, and we'll get through hopefully the rest of these recommendations at that time, bring it back to the full council before the July meeting.
Any further discussion? Councilor Harper's recommendation that this remain in committee. All those in favor? All those opposed? That it carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Marcillo.
Thank you, President. City of Salem and City Council, June 26, 2025. The Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of meeting with staff of the Planning Department and the Metropolitan Area Planning Council to discuss the current project to right-size parking requirements for future multifamily housing, has considered said matter and would recommend that the presentation be received and filed.
On the acceptance of the report, all those in favor? On the discussion?
Thank you, President. This is a pretty thorough discussion of the study that they've been doing over the past year or so, including 2 public meetings to discuss different approaches that could be taken to right-sizing parking requirements. And I would encourage everyone to watch that meeting if there are questions about what's under consideration. This does not include single-family home parking. It's only for 3 units or more, to talk about what's the best approach to requirements, if there should be requirements, for on-site parking, off-street parking. And so there were a couple approaches. There's going to be some zoning amendments that will be submitted to the council pretty soon. And we'll go through the normal zoning amendment process with a joint public hearing. But there was really a lot of information and a lot of study, and certainly I don't know if we can look at any of those studies and say that Salem is that exact community, but there's a lot of similarities. And it's you can't argue with the fact that there is too much parking in some of these larger multi-unit developments and the problems that brings. Yes, we can get more housing if the developers don't need to pay for extra parking spaces, but also paving over all of that land is not environmentally sound. And from my point of view, I hate to see unused pavement that's set up for parking, and it's just sitting there and no one's using it. And so I think that this discussion, this dive into how Salem could possibly update zoning to have a better approach to the parking requirements, it's more maybe specific to each development that comes before the board. I think it makes sense right now. But like I said, there's going to be amendments that are submitted to the council pretty soon, and so we'll start the process then. Thank you.
Councilor Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple other things. This is just for new development, and so it will not affect any existing properties. And as Councilor Marcillo said, I encourage people from the public or everyone to review this. The planning department really did some extensive work. There's some great statistics, and I'm looking forward to us deliberating.
Any further discussion? Seeing none on Councilor Marcillo's recommendation that this matter be received and filed, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, June 26, 2025. The Committee on Public Health, Safety, and Environment co-posted with the committee to whom was referred the matter of ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 1151 and 51B, bus stops, parking prohibited certain streets, has considered said matter and would recommend adoption for first passage.
Councilor Cohen, on acceptance of Councilor Cohen's report. All those in favor? On the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. So tonight we had the second meeting, and this is for October, parking only at this point. We repealed two things. Canal Street, until this year, had 225 feet of bus parking, and we repealed the existing Washington Square South dimensions. We're changing Canal Street from 225 to 525 feet. One of the reasons that that's been increased is basically to try to get some of the tour bus parking outside of the main downtown area. We're also adding a drop-off, a 10-minute drop-off on New Derby Street, near Riley Plaza on the other side. And then we took 3 Washington Square spots, and they will all be 10-minute drop-offs. And one of the things we did is make sure that the dimensions, one reason we had the second meeting tonight is to make sure the dimensions reflected what was the intent of the ordinance. Thank you.
Councilor Marcelo?
Just a point of order. There were amendments that came out of the committee that need to be voted on before the whole thing is voted on.
Any further discussion?
Yep.
Councilor Hepworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the amendments coming out of committee, by memory, are the removal of a 10-minute drop zone on Bridge Street. That was a recommendation from the Traffic and Parking Commission that the committee voted to remove. And then the adjustment of Washington Square South to 10-minute parking and Washington Square West to 10-minute parking in October only. And those are the only amendments that came out of the committee. I'll just add, go ahead.
Councilor Cohen.
No, that's correct.
Okay. Any further discussion? Councilor Hepworth.
Sorry, Mr. President, I'll just add that the intent of the amendments was that we have more and more buses coming in, and the buses are getting bigger, along with more and more tourists coming in. The buses frequently have no place to go and are parking along streets and parking in the middle of the streets and dropping people. None of this is a good solution, but I think the intent here is to give them places to make their drops where they're trying to make their drops right now, and then to encourage them or to give our police department a legal means to get them out of the downtown core and off to places like Ford Avenue or Canal Street, where they can park longer term. But there is some intention, I think, from the mayor's office to have a working group start on this and start to look at just the problem that we're dealing with tour buses and the frequency and the issues that are caused, not just in October, but year-round downtown.
Councilor Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I'm amending my recommendation for adoption as amended for first passage.
Any further discussion? Councilor Cohen's motion to adopt as amended for first passage. I'm sorry. On the amendments to Councilor Cohen's order. All those in favor? All those opposed? Seeing none. On Councilor Cohen's recommendation that this be made for first passage with the amendments, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Communications from city officials.
We have an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to noise control on Essex Street.
Counselor Hapworth?
Councilor Villa is not here, so if anyone wants to make a motion here, City of Salem in the year 2025, an ordinance to amend.
Wait, the reading?
Thank you. I move for adoption.
Counselor Hapworth moves for adoption under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is just another one of the initiatives coming out of the mayor's office to modernize and clean up ordinances related primarily to tourism in Salem, but just year round. The issue being inconsistency on our noise ordinance and the unenforceability of it. So one of the major themes of this, anyone who's made a complaint about noise knows that in October, it's nearly impossible to enforce it because the crowd noise is is louder, significantly louder than the noise ordinance even permits. So this makes it so that if the general volume of the crowd is above the permitted decibel level, then it gives performers up to 10 decibels above that. And then beyond that, they'd be violating the noise ordinance. Also some cleanup for legal language to ensure that we're protecting the First Amendment for anybody and we're not inadvertently prioritizing the city and city-sponsored speech by giving city-sponsored events priority, and some clarity around decibel levels. Sorry, but I would actually move to amend my motion, move to send this to committee. I'm just reading the agenda here, but I meant to send this to committee. So I would send this to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Any further discussion? On Councilor Hapworth's motion to move matter of amending the ordinance relative to noise control, move it to the Committee Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Petitions.
We have a request from the residents of Chestnut Street to hold a block party between Pickering and Cambridge Street on July 26, 2025, from 4 to 8:30 p.m. with a rain date of July 27, 2025.
Councilor Wassenfeld.
Thank you, President Presnewski. I move that this be granted.
Councilor Wassenfeld moves that this be granted under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a repeat of a block party last year where this section of Chestnut between Pickering and Cambridge was tested to see, what its impact would be on the flow of traffic and all of those things around the space. And it worked really, really well. So the community, the residents would like to do it again. So they've submitted again. I did include Lieutenant Tucker in that exchange. No concerns were raised by him that I'm aware of. So I move that this be granted. I think that specific section has a really low impact on the flow through that area. So it works pretty well. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilor Wassenfeld's motion to let the residents of Chestnut Street hold their block party on July 26th. All those in favor? All those opposed? Move granted. Further petitions.
We have a request from the residents of Clark Street on the Clark Street cul-de-sac to hold a block party September 6, 2025, from 12 to 5 p.m. with a rain date on September 7th, 2025.
Councilor Marcillo.
Thank you, President. I move that this be granted.
Councilor Marcillo moves that it be granted under discussion.
Thank you, President. This is a multi-year block party effort right now, and it's a fun time, and it's a nice neighborhood up there, and it's great that they can find that cul-de-sac area and have a block party. It's a lot of fun.
Any further discussion? On Councilor Marcillo's motion that the Clark Street folks be granted a block party on September 6th. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have the following license applications for limousine taxi cabs, public guides, taxi operators, vehicle for hires, and vehicle for hire operators only.
Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move these be granted.
Councilor Hapworth moves that these be granted under discussion.
No discussion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor that this be granted? So granted. Further petitions?
We have one claim.
Councilor Hapworth?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to refer to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
Councilor Hapworth moves that this matter be sent to the Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs. Under discussion.
No discussion.
No further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions?
We have one drain layer operator.
Councilor Hapworth?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move this be granted.
Councilor Hapworth moves it be granted. Under discussion?
No discussion.
Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions?
We have one drain layer bond.
Councilor Hapworth?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to refer to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs and return approved.
Councilor Hapworth moves that this be referred. Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs and approved. Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Unfinished business?
We have a second passage of the bond order for $10,026,020 to pay for costs for the fiscal year 2026 CIP projects.
Councilor Merkel?
Thank you. And Maureen, do we include,
You can just say what it's for.
yes, so thank you. This is for, I make a move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Merkel moves that this matter be adopted by a roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you. It's always interesting to hear about the CIPs in the budget hearings from the different departments and learn about their planned work and improvements for Salem moving forward. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilor Merkel's motion that the CIP funding be adopted, please, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Watson-Fell?
Yes.
Counselor Stott?
Yes.
Counselor Marcillo?
Yes.
Counselor Merkel?
Yes.
Counselor Jerslow?
Yes.
Counselor Harvey?
Yes.
Counselor Hapworth?
Yes.
Counselor Davis?
Yes.
Counselor Cohen? Counselor Presnowski?
Yes. On the matter of the second passage of the bond order for $10 million, $26,020 FY26 CIP projects. We have 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, one absent, matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have an order for a second passage of the bond order for $9,450,000 to pay costs for fiscal year 26 CIP projects.
Councilor Merkel.
Thank you, President Presnowski. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Merkel moves adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Yes, these projects in this order are enterprise funds, which is separated out from the previous order for transparency.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Merkel's motion that $9,450,000 transferred. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Watson-Fell?
Yes.
Counselor Stott?
Yes.
Counselor Marcillo?
Yes.
Counselor Merkel?
Yes.
Counselor Jerslow?
Yes.
Counselor Harvey?
Yes.
Counselor Hapworth?
Yes.
Counselor Davis?
Yes.
Counselor Cohen?
Yes.
And Counselor Presnowski?
Yes. On the second passage of the bond order for $9,450,000 for projects, fiscal year CIP projects, enterprise fund. We have 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, one absent, matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have a second passage for an ordinance relative to solid waste management.
Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Councilor Hapworth moves for adoption by second passage. Any discussion?
No discussion.
No discussion, no further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage for an ordinance relative to sewer use charges.
Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Councilor Hapworth moves for adoption for second passage. Under discussion?
No discussion.
Seeing no further discussion, all in favor? All opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have an ordinance relative, a second passage for an ordinance relative to rates for the use of water.
Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Councilor Hapworth moves for adoption for second passage. Under discussion?
No discussion.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage for an ordinance relative to vending.
Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for adoption for second and final passage.
Councilor Hapworth moves for adoption for second passage. Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage for an ordinance relative for falling snow and ice just from sidewalks.
Councilor Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move adoption for second passage.
Councilor Cohen moves for adoption for second passage. Under discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have a second passage of an ordinance relative to traffic, section 40, chapter 42, section 50B, handicap zones on Forester Street.
Councilor Watson-Feld.
Thank you, President Prezinski. I move this be, move for adoption for second passage.
Councilor Watson-Feld moves that this be adopted by second passage. Any discussion?
None.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councilor Morcillo.
Thank you, President. Just a reminder that the Pride Parade is Saturday at noon. And then next week is the 4th of July celebration. Keep your eyes open for detailed information on that. That should be coming out very soon. Seeing nothing else, I motion to adjourn.
Councilor Morcillo motions to adjourn. All those in favor? All those opposed? We're adjourned. Good night, everyone.